What's up, everybody? My name's Big Cam and welcome back for another Hot Toys 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. And just so you know, every weekend all through 2026, two figures every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I've been unboxing for as long as I can remember, and I'm going to try and keep that up for as long as I can continue to keep that up. And it looks like for the year of 2026 I might be able to do that. But yesterday we had a very special Tom Holland Spider-Man figure that I picked up from my local comic book shop, and today I figured why not keep the Spider-Man train rolling, and we have yet another Spider-Man Tom Holland figure, and that would be the black and gold suit, which is controversial and not necessarily movie accurate, but there's an accessory in this box that I just had to get, and it says Spider-Man receives a new web shooter imbued with arcane powers. And this, of course, is from Spider-Man No Way Home. And yeah, I wish it was a little bit more movie accurate, but I guess we'll take a look at the figure itself and see how it's looking. But on the front there, you can see like the golden Spider-Man logo and a little bit of black, clear, reflective plastic in the middle. Nothing too crazy going on. MMS 604, 1/6 scale collectible figure. Warnings and legal information around the back, store locations, yeah, nothing crazy going on. So why don't we slide off the top of this slip cover here and take our first look at the figure. Oh man, he comes with some Doctor Strange magic, of course. That black and gold design. I actually don't hate this design, but like it was in the movie, it was the upgraded suit inside out, and there was a bunch of loose wires and stuff. Now to do that in 1/6 scale might have been a hassle, so maybe they just went black and they were just like, it's cool, we'll just go black and gold. But you know, there are people out there that are like, it's not movie accurate, it fucking sucks, you know. But it does come with an accessory from Doctor Strange that I desperately want, not to put on this figure, but to put on another figure in my collection. So yeah, we're probably going to end up doing that. But just to look at this box, nothing too crazy going on. It looks like the black suited Spider-Man is swinging through a portal on the back of the box, maybe a Doctor Strange portal, and they were just fighting, and that looks like kind of like a snowy New York maybe. So maybe this is from like the interrogation scene from like Spider-Man Far From Home, but no, that was the black other suit, you know, the Night Monkey suit from Far From Home, which I also have in my collection. Two black Tom Holland Spider-Man suits, neither of them Venom, which hopefully comes in Spider-Man Brand New Day, maybe, probably not, but hopefully comes in Secret Wars, in Avengers Secret Wars. So just pulling this bad boy up out of this box for my first look in person. Alright, so just pulling off this plastic tray here, instructions down bottom, make sure you guys read that so you know what's going on with your figures. But just taking my first in-person look, the black and gold trimmed hands, the magic effect, there is like an orange little magic Doctor Strange type of magic whipping thing. I don't even know what you'd call that, a little orange web effect if you would. It also comes with the golden Doctor Strange imbued magic device to be able to like shoot the bad guys, send them home, you know, that type of thing. Send them to the cell in Doctor Strange's sanctum. I did say in yesterday's unboxing that my pre-owned Tom Holland figure was a little bit beat and the nose had a scuff on it, and this head sculpt looks to be exactly the same. So I think I'm going to end up tossing this head sculpt on that figure, and hopefully they're compatible. I'm sure they are. I wouldn't see why they wouldn't be. They're the exact same head sculpt, and they're both on the same type of Tom Holland Spider-Man body. It's just a couple of different suits. So, speaking of which, pulling it out of the box for my first in-person look, taking the plastic off of him, foam from under his arms, some clicky ratchets in his shoulders, plastic around the hands. Oh yeah, so this is very cool. The printed gold on the front, they're trying their best to make it look like this is the inside out suit with the, little gold details and designs all over. And, there's like little blue buttons on it and stuff, where stuff might, plug in. There's little numbers on it, 77, 534. Interesting. the golden logo on the back. There's like little geometric designs all over it, like that's the circuitry or wires running through this suit that Tony Stark designed for him, I'm pretty sure. Or technically this is the one that Tom designed himself at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home with Tony's, you know, equipment, with the help from Happy and the Quinjet or whatever they were in there. But yeah, I'm not in love with this suit, but it does look pretty good, and it, you know, I'm a sucker for things with black in a trim color. You know, like I love black and red, I love black and blue, I love black and gold. I love black as the base color as is. So black and gold trim, that actually looks pretty damn sick. But, you know, who knows if this will pop off the shelf or what it's capable of. Can it even stand on its own? It can do that, so that's a plus. These Spider-Man figures are normally pretty good at standing on their own, at least. It does come with its own black and gold suit Spider-Man Far From Home hexagon base, so that's a nice touch. It does have the adapter slot, so it looks like I can use a crotch grabber instead of the flight pole it comes with. They always make you use the flight pole for Spider-Man figures because you gotta be able to make him look like he's swinging or whatever, but I don't know, I feel like you could make him swinging or doing something like that and still not have a flight pole. And if you're gonna send the flight pole, send the crotch grabber as well. So if I want to have him just standing on the base, I can, and know that he's not going to fall over because he's sturdy with that crotch grabber, you know? I only have a few of my figures that don't have crotch grabbers, and they're just standing there by themselves. And every day I come in this room and I take my peek in and I'm like, okay, everyone's still standing, that's good. But, you know, there's some days where they're just falling over, you know, and you're like, oh no, what happened? You know, it almost makes me want to set up like a security camera in this room overnight, just running all the time, just so I can know if something falls, what happened, you know? Or like when it happened, what kind of damage it caused to everything else. But I think what I'll do now is take out all of the accessories that this black and gold Spider-Man suit from Spider-Man No Way Home comes with, lay it all out on the desk in front of me here, and we'll see everything that Tom Holland's black suit Spider-Man has to offer. Alright everybody, we got Tom Holland's black and gold suit Spider-Man from Spider-Man No Way Home sitting in front of us here, and you can see all of his accessories down below, and that figure himself standing on that base. He's got that golden device that is powered by arcane powers, and it's like a special magic shooter that Doctor Strange gives him. It doesn't slide on the forearm as well as it maybe should, you know, and you can see that angle that that wrist is at, and that's kind of the angle you have to put it at. Luckily, that's not going to be the final place for this. You know, I'm probably going to put that little gold device on my upgraded suit Spider-Man, and I think it might look better on that figure. But this figure, a lot of people don't like because it's not movie accurate. It doesn't have all the wires, you know, hanging off of it. It's supposed to be an inside-out version of this upgraded suit. But for some reason, it's just the black and gold and just kind of more of a seamless, sleek Spider-Man suit. You know, I'm glad they did it, but I prefer when they do stuff a little bit more movie accurate. But down to some of his accessories, you can see over on the left here, he's got a web grabbing hand, which is pretty much just a grabbing hand with a hole drilled through it. And then he's got this like gripping hand that for some figures, he puts like a cell phone in that hand. This figure doesn't come with a cell phone. So in this case, it's meant to hold the empty mask like he just took it off, and he's wearing that Tom Holland head sculpt. We'll definitely take a closer look at that in a moment as well. He's got some, you know, maybe reacting hands, like his spider senses just got alerted. He's got some hands like he's crawling up a wall, or, you know, maybe they're splayed out like, whoa, 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 don't shoot, you know, that type of thing. I don't know. But you can see the detailing on these hands, like the ribbed fingers in like the web shooter, where like he would press the button for his web shooter to shoot in the middle of his palm. Some circuitry designed on like the top side of the hand. Yeah, like not too much going on, and I do like the black and gold color scheme of things. You know, I would have preferred this look over like the stealth suit back there. I think, you know, the stealth suit's just too black, where this gives it like a nice little accent color of the gold. You know, I'm kind of here for it. But then the last couple hands, he comes with a thwipping hand and then a swap out palm, so you can have the whipping hand just normally, or you can plug in the web effect and then plug in one of these webs. There is a orange one that's meant for the magic effect, and I believe those two little pegs slide over that magic effect. But that little piece magnets to the front of Spider-Man's chest, which I thought was strange, but also like, all right, well, I guess if he's using the power, maybe like the magic symbol lights up his chest. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the movie to see if that is what happens. But yeah, so magic effect, different webs, but I really hate these web effects and how they look. I don't think they look good at all, but I guess it's a Spider-Man figure, so you gotta include it. And then he comes with a flight pole. I really wish he just came with a crotch grabber just so I could have him standing on his base normally, but it's a Spider-Man figure, so you want to be able to have him swinging or doing something, so a waist grabber it is, but I'm probably not going to end up using that in the long term because you don't want that waist grabber to damage the figure. And then he just has two fist hands that come on the figure, and actually he comes with those splayed out hands. I put on the wrist gauntlet thing and figured that the fist hands would probably be a better look for him to start with. We'll take a closer look at this in a moment, but just to look at some of the last accessories that I didn't talk about, he's got swap out lenses for his mask, and you can see the normal ones there, and then he's got wider, and then he's got squinted, even more squinted and longer, you know, slimmer eyes and pointier eyes, and then he's got fully closed eyes, which I'm glad they include those as well, and you can mix and match them to maybe make him like winking, or, you know, maybe he's like stressed out or something. Maybe he just got hit, but I think I'm probably going to end up repping him with the normal lenses, or maybe even the bigger lenses. And then if not, I'm probably going to end up repping him with the Tom Holland head sculpt, which is a phenomenal head sculpt. Doesn't have any moving eyes, but the hair looks pretty good. The little swoop down pieces that are kind of covering his face. The only thing that would really make this head sculpt like even better is if it had the rolling eyes, because those eyes, when you can move them around, there's something about it when you do that, it just really brings a head sculpt to life, you know? And like you can see the ears are like slightly more pink than the rest of them, like kind of how real human ears look a lot of times. Yeah, really nice looking head sculpt. And just to compare him here with my other figure, this one on the right is a pre-owned figure. And I think you can see like his nose there's a little bit of a flat spot. And I think this figure took a high dive off the shelf. But like they are the same head sculpt. And I'm not sure if that's like a clear wash in the hair or if that's like dust in the hair, but it does look like a grayish white in the seams of the hair, does it not? And then on this figure, he doesn't have that. So I'm wondering if that like is a purposeful thing that painter of that head sculpt did, or if it's just really old and that's like, you know, really dusty and poorly kept. But, you know, that is a pre-owned figure that I got from my local comic book shop. So for what it is, I'm not mad, but I think I'm going to end up putting the head sculpt from this black and gold figure onto this Tom Holland's figure, and that will probably be how I end up leaving this bad boy. Pretty good looking figure though, so yeah, you should be able to toss that on this figure or the black and gold, no problem, and vice versa. So yeah, one of these head sculpts will get used because I need another Spider-Man figure with a Tom Holland head sculpt on. But just to take a closer look at the black suit and this little magic piece just magnets to the spider symbol in the center of his chest. But the figure himself, you know, getting up close and personal, you could see the, you know, fabric dots and the gold details and like little numbers written all over it, 77, 534, whatever that means. I'm sure there's an Easter egg or something in there. You know, all the circuitry going down to the forearms, a little bit gappy around the wrists, but that is what it is. Maybe you can slide down the suit a little bit to cover that up a little bit more, or you can toss on that golden device thing that Doctor Strange gives him. I'm not even sure what you would call this, but it is cool-ish, but I wish it fit on the forearm a little better. It's a little tight, so I wasn't able to get the hand all the way up and on there the way I would want to, but it still looks all right, and I will swap that out onto another figure by the end of this video, so we'll check that out too. But yeah, little details in the black going down the pants and little wiring and stuff like that, and then the gold detailing down by his boots. I think he comes with toe articulation as well, some tread on the bottom. Yep, toe articulation. Yeah, some interesting little tread down there. And yeah, not too bad a looking figure, you know. The head sculpt looks all right. The spider logo on the back, the actual figure itself. Yeah, I think this is going to work out. But not much else to do and not much else to look at. So why don't we toss this bad boy into some poses and see what he's capable of before tossing him next to some other Spider-Men in my collection. All right, everybody, we have the Tom Holland black and gold Spider-Man suit from Spider-Man No Way Home just spinning around on the turntable for us here, just standing straight up and down just as he comes fresh out of the box, but with his arcane-powered golden device around his forearm that he got from Doctor Strange just to complete the look. And then I have the black and gold suit in a little bit of an action pose, like his spider sense was just alerted and he's looking around searching for his opponent. And then I have him shooting the arcane powered webs and the orange magic webs from Doctor Strange out of that device. And that's how he like captured Green Goblin and Sandman and Electro and brought them back to the Sanctum Sanctorum to be sent back to their own universes. And then I took off the golden device around his forearm so that his wrists have a little bit more articulation, because that device does fit quite tight around the wrists. And I have our Spider-Man just in a more traditional swinging pose, but without the crappy plastic web effects that they come with. I think those really do look like junk. And the only reason I used the magical effect one was because it's unique and different and not the normal ones. But then I have the Tom Holland head sculpt on the black and gold suit, and he looks like he's texting MJ or Ned. And this figure doesn't come with a phone, but he does come with a hand to be able to hold the phone, so I grabbed one from one of my other Spider-Mans. And then in his final pose here, I have him back to back with the upgraded suit, which is this black and gold suit, but technically they're the same suit, but the black and gold suit is supposed to be the upgraded suit, but inside out. So, you know, not exactly the same suit as you see them side by side next to each other. You know, they do have their differences, but they also have their similarities. But like I said earlier in the video, the black and gold suit doesn't movie accurate screen match the black and gold suit from the film like it should, you know, and maybe they should have had exposed wires on this black and gold suit and maybe duct tape on his chest with Ned and MJ FaceTiming him, you know, and like do that one particular scene where he fights Jamie Foxx's Electro. But I think this suit still looks pretty cool. I like the golden black colorway, but I think that the upgraded suit with the Tom Holland head sculpt, with the Edith glasses, with the arcane powered golden device around the forearm, I think that looks much more movie accurate to me and looks a lot better. Even though, you know, Spider-Man didn't have the Edith glasses in No Way Home. But this is how I wanted my Tom Holland from that movie to look in my collection. And, you know, maybe this is like a end of the movie Far From Home, beginning of the movie No Way Home type of figure. But I'm not mad at that. I like how they look next to each other quite a bit, actually. And, you know, the scaling looks just about right for the same figures, you know. Maybe No Way Home is slightly taller or something like that because he's, you know, slightly older than he was in the previous film. But I'm so excited for Spider-Man Brand New Day. A trailer should be coming out any day now, and I'm going to be breaking down and reacting to that when it does drop. But I also just need to feast my eyes on whatever Spider-Man Brand New Day is about, you know? Like, we really know nothing about it. All we know is the little leaked footage we've seen so far, and like them shooting in Glasgow and swinging through the streets and explosions and really doing stuff practically. And then like the people we know that are in the film, like Punisher and Hulk and Sadie Sink, and like the cast seems ridiculous and it seems like it's going to be awesome. And in the No Way Home, you know, in the Home trilogy for Tom Holland, he was in high school and he was a teenager. And, you know, now they're going to jump 4 years into the Brand New Day trilogy for Tom Holland and into his 4th Spider-Man film. And it looks like maybe he's going to be heading into his young adult or even just straight up adult years, you know what I mean? They might even skip right over the college years and just go right to him being a full-on adult and, you know, being Spider-Man in New York City, and I can't wait for that. But why don't we toss this black and gold Spider-Man on the shelf where he's going to be going and maybe compare him next to other Tom Holland Spider-Man figures in my collection and maybe some other black suited Spider-Man.
All right, y'all. So this is what the Spider-Man collection is looking like at the moment. And you can see up front here, we have the two figures I unboxed this weekend with the black and gold suit and the upgraded suit. So if you guys didn't check out that other unboxing video, go check that out. But in today's black and gold suit unboxing, we did this bad boy here. Even though he's not all that movie accurate, I do still like the black and gold color scheme, and tossing like the other accessory over on this suit and tossing actually the head sculpt that came with this figure on the red and black upgraded suit and making that figure look awesome as well. But we'll talk more about that in a minute, or even in his video, so go check that out if you want to see his suit some more, or any of these videos for these figures or unboxings up on the channel now. But black and gold suit next to the stealth suit Tom Holland figure. Both figures I like quite a bit, but this one is just so bland. And the more and more, like, I initially got it and I was like, yeah, no, I actually quite like it with just like the Tom Holland head sculpt and just chilling. And it's like, you know, just a casual figure. And, you know, was the Tom Holland in my collection until today, you know. So very glad that I upgraded the Tom Holland figure a little bit, but still a cool deluxe base with the lava and the hand coming up, but takes up quite a bit of space. So I'm not sure how long that figure will be in the collection, but I am setting a goal for myself at the moment where I want to get every single Tom Holland Spider-Man suit, and I'm coming along pretty good amount of ways, you know. So now I have the upgraded suit, the battling damaged upgrading suit, and the battling version of that suit. And he comes with that sick display base and the Machina di Cadaver, or whatever that box is called from Doctor Strange. So I have two of those same suits, but one's dirty, one's not. One's clean, and one has that little effect on it as well. And the Tom Holland head sculpt. But from No Way Home, I also have the integrated suit, the red and gold, and then now the black and gold, and then, you know, a couple of Far From Home figures with the stealth suit, the Homecoming suit, even though, you know, that is from Far From Home and it's supposed to be Mysterio's illusion with that giant Stark Tech drone that he's standing on. And meanwhile, that little tiny one over here, and there's another little tiny one down there, you know, but then there's a big old honking one that he's standing on, which love that display base, love that figure as well. I think that's a cool looking fig. But yeah, just Venom in the back taking up space. We got Green Goblin over there now too. And, you know, as far as black suits, I got Tom Holland's stealth suit, the black and gold, and then I got Tobey's black suit as well, with Venom over here causing all types of issues. So yeah, I really like the way that this Spider-Man shelf is looking, and I have a couple other Spider-Man adjacent figures with Doc Ock and No Way Home Doctor Strange right there with the spell that he's casting. So hopefully I can integrate all of these guys on the same shelf, but maybe it will be a little too packed with these guys' bases, and especially Doctor Strange with that big old base. So for the time being, this is what this figure shelf is looking like for Spider-Man figures in my collection. But like I said, I want to get, you know, another red suit Tobey. I want to get a couple of Andrew figures, and I want to get every single one of Tom Holland's suits. So what else do I need? I think I need the Iron Spider suit, the red and blue Stark Tech suit, and other than that, I think that's it. Oh, maybe the red and blue suit from the end, you know, like almost the post-credit scene of No Way Home. So not too many suits to complete my Tom Holland line, so that will be the goal in the coming future. And we're almost at 100 figures unboxed, so there will be a collection tour video coming out very soon, talking about all the additions to the collection and the last 25 figures that we added to this bad boy. And if you guys can see over here, we got some John Wick figures, Ghost Rider, yeah, so definitely got room for expansion in the future for Spider-Man guys, but that shelf at the current moment is looking pretty sweet. So Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you made it this far into the video, I highly appreciate y'all. And make sure you guys hit that bell so you don't miss future Hot Toy figure unboxings coming every weekend all through 2026. So make sure you guys hit that bell and you get the notifications when those come out so you can join me. If you want to send your thoughts about these figures to my other social medias, links for those down in the description below. And I'd like to say thank you guys one more time if you made it this far into the video and you would like to support the channel. The best way of doing that is dropping a like on this video, subscribing if you haven't already, and hit that bell like I said before so you don't miss Hot Toys figure unboxings or statue unboxings or collection tour videos, and you get the notifications when those drop. Once again, my name is Big Cam, and I will see you gorgeous folks in the next video. Peace.